thread your needle with about 2 feet of fire line, and we're gonna string one Tila, one 11-0, one Tila, one 11-0, and keep doing that until you have 4 Tilas and 4 11-0s alternating on your needle. And that's what you should have. So slide the beads down your thread and leave about 5 or 6 inch tail and go back through all the beads again. You may not be able to get this done all in one go. Getting my thread caught. I'm going to exit through that first tile of bead that I strung and just pull my thread tight. And what you're going to have is this kind of cross shape with a hollow center when you're finished. And just go through the second hole of that tile bead that your thread is exiting. And we're going to start filling in the spaces in between the tiles. So I'm going to string an 11-0, 2 super duos, and an 11-0. And go through the second hole of the next tile bead in my circle of beads here. And repeat that, 11-0, 2 super duos, and an 11-0. And go through the second hole of the next tile bead. And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around. 11-0, 2 super duos, another 11-0 through the second hole of that tile bead. And I didn't have enough super duos, so just got some more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way back through those super duos so that I reinforce that second row of beads that I just put on. Alright, and I'm just going to exit through one of the super duos that I put on and just give my thread a nice tight pull to get those beads back together nice and tight because they slackened up a bit while I was doing that. And so I'm going to go through very next, the second hole of my super duo. I'm going to string 3 of my second color. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm skipping ahead a bit. Sorry about that. You're not going to go through the second hole of the super duo just yet. You're going to exit that first hole of the super duo, and then you're going to string three 11 nodes in my second color, and then I'm going to go through the second hole of that super duo my thread is exiting, just to decorate the sides a bit. And then we're going to fill in the spaces in between the super duos with another three 11 nodes in my second color. And feel free to use the 11 nodes in the same color as you started with. It's up to you. Another three 11 nodes, and I'm going to go through the first hole of that second super duo and back through the first hole of the super duo next to it. Then I'm going to work my way to the next pair of super duos. So through the 11 node, through the Tila, through the 11 node. And it may be a bit difficult to get your needle through everything. And then I'm going to go through the pair of super duos through those first holes. And I'm going to repeat the same thing I did to the other pair. I'm going to string three 11 nodes and go through that second hole of my super duo that my thread is exiting. And then I'm going to fill in the space in between the super duos with another three 11 nodes and three 11 nodes to decorate the side of that second super duo and go through the first hole of both of my super duos. And again, you may have to wiggle around your needle a bit, just be careful not to break it. And I'm going to work my way over again to the other pair. Let's get my tail out of the way. Oh, sorry. I just realized I'm going in the wrong direction. Work my way over to that that third pair of super duos and exit through the second one and just repeat what we've been doing for the last two. So three 11 nodes, go through the second hole of that super duo and decorate the middle and decorate the other side of that pair of beads. And just decorating my final pair of super duos. And now I'm just going to work my way through my earring, and I want to come out of the middle set of 11 nodes between the top of my super duos. So I'm going to go through my 11 nodes, my Tila, through the pair of super duos, through the seed beads along the side of my super duos, through my super duo, and then through that middle, come out of that middle 11 in my second color. And that's what your earring should look like so far. And getting some more 11-ohs because again I didn't put out enough of my beads. I'm just going to string 3 11-ohs and my earring hook. And slide those down and go through the last 11-oh that I strung and just pull that tight. Then I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-ohs. I'm going to go through that 11-oh so you can kind of see. Flip it over. Go through that 11-oh that my thread is exiting, and you want to make sure you loop around the seed bead. So if your thread is exiting the left side, you want to go through the right side so it forms a loop around that seed bead. I'm just going to reinforce those beads again. So I'm going to go up through 3 of my 11-ohs, through the earring hook, back down that center 11-oh, and down through the other 2 on the other side of my loop. And just make sure I pull that nice and tight. And through that center bead that my earring hook is attached to, I'm going to weave my way back into the earring and tie some half-hitch knots. And I just catch the thread behind, catch the thread with your needle and make a loop and pull it through. And then you always sew through the beads and make sure you pull that knot into a neighboring bead. And it may be a little difficult to work through the beads at this point in time, maybe a little tight. Just wiggle your way through. And just make sure you don't get your thread caught. Keep a close eye on that thread. And again, we're going to catch the thread between the beads and leave a little loop. Take your needle through the loop and pull it tight. And one more time. I like to tie several knots just to make sure that my work is secure. And I always sew through the beads after I make a knot to make sure I pull that knot, into a bead that's close by. So I'm finished there now, and you're just gonna trim your excess working thread. I have my handy thread burner. Alright, so I've threaded my needle with my tail thread. All I'm going to do now is weave my thread through my beads and tie several half-hitch knots just to secure this tail thread before I trim it. Now I'm going to trim my excess thread and my earring is complete.